I get it. We have a question from the second row. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Amelia. I work with Mandy at MMSI. I've been in the meetings and events management industry for just over 2 years. And everything I've learned by physically doing it. Okay? I do not necessarily think that we need a qualification. But however, I do think there is a gap in the industry where, like, my background is that I studied interior design. I did my 3-year course on it. And in interior design, you're taught about the SABS rules and regulations. And there's this handbook of this is how a chair needs to be in a room, and this is how a this and this and that and that. And in the same way, event managers work with people, and we have all these safety regulations, and whether it be how many portions of food you feed a person or what type of chair you seat them on. Those regulations aren't stipulated in our industry. They aren't existent, according to me. Maybe I'm wrong. And I honestly think that that's something that is missing, and I'd love to have that so that I could go, and instead of relying on a safety officer and saying to him, listen, is this plan correct? I want to physically know in my mind that this plan is correct.
This is a hot topic.
Who wants to?
I would love to respond to that, because you've actually opened a very interesting little can of worms, which is developing very fast in this industry, and it's called the safety industry. Now, I'm going to be quite outspoken here because I don't have anything to lose. But for me, that safety industry have become the leeches of our industry. They drive me insane.
Big problem.
Okay, because we'll get to the reason why and the solution to it. But I now go to functions, and as I say, I've been doing this for an awfully long time. I haven't really changed anything I do. Some things have improved technologically, so of course you use the better methods and you use the better equipment. But the process is exactly the same. But now it takes me a wad of paper to do the same job. Okay, and here comes Mr. Safety. And he says, hello, you've got to wear a hard hat. I said, no, when I go there to set up. No. Then where do you come from? Okay, are you the safety? Yeah, I'm the safety officer. I said, right, okay, do you do certifications? Oh, no, you've got to get an engineer to do that. Oh, do you do electrical COCs? Oh, no, you've got an electrician to get that. So what the hell are you doing here? No, I'm representing the client to make sure that this is safe. This idiot has never set up a show in his entire life. Yes. What is he coming to do? I get very angry and I do some very rude things.
I hear your point. Let's look at the other aspects beyond safety. Helen, you were looking askance at our previous questioner. Training?
Oh, yes. I lost it there for a minute. I was so busy listening to Rudy.
To the point.
I was talking over the break, the wine break. This is it. In regard to SASRIA, which is the law that governs all this, and it has now been put into simple English. And I have had a word with Martin Hiller, who is the editor at Meetings magazine, and we're going to be doing a series on this. He doesn't know it yet, I suppose I better tell him, into very plain English, because there are very simple rules and regulations. You're not going to know it all, because it depends on the level of risk, as you'll appreciate, between low, medium, and high. And I think that Rudy's point is very clear. It's not only safety, there's also the security side. It's become a can of worms that is just unbelievable. And why is it unbelievably complicated? Is because they make it that way. The security people, when I sat in a particular meeting with a couple of the security guys on the platform representing the city and representing other people, the Greek gobbledygook speak was unbelievable. And when you break it down, that is not necessary. As Amelia said, give it to me in plain English. There's a book. I can look at interior design, because show willing that you're trying to get over this, that you're trying to comply with security, with safety, and with health, as Barry Snow will tell us from the TPSA, and you're halfway there to actually solving the problem. But when you start coming to contact, as Rudy was saying, with people who are making a living out of it, they're making it complicated, because the average meeting planner, who, as I said much earlier in another presentation, has an attention span of about 15 minutes, tops. And that's stretching it. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. They don't have the ice glass over. We mustn't go too long on this one. And at the end of the day, they look at this and say, oh, my word, I better get a security man, a safety man. I don't know what's going on. And that is the problem. And it shouldn't be like that, because in the average large corporation, there is a health and safety officer. It's got to be there by law. By law.
Yes.
And they have legal certification. So we get so uptight about this because I'm responsible. It says, the one thing I've read, event organizer, responsible. So I can't handle this. This is the problem.
still want
I think
But we're getting there. It's going to be sorted out.
Just an interesting thing, and I know you want to shoot the safety officer and all that, and it drives us mad because we build exhibition stands. But any of you built a stand in India or a show in India, you'll see how rough it is. And you know, our industry was like that, and we forget about that, Rudy. You know, we've come a long way, and you just say that you still build the same. I'm sure you build differently. I challenge you on that. And what happens, you go to India and you can't believe what you see, how people build stands and the amount of mortalities and injuries and whatever, right? We've come a long way. And I know we resent the safety people, and there are people making money out of it. But I think it's necessary. It's necessary. And they've gone a little bit overboard. So I think, you know, a forum like this, and we should be chatting really about safety because it impacts all of us. It's a great hot potato to talk about. You know, we can't forget where we've come from.
No,
we really
look,
can't.
I agree with you
even when you
100%.
build in Africa, I mean, you've seen...
I'm not advocating that we don't have safety. We do.
I want to go back to let's go back to our question, if we may.
Sorry, I just want to add something. I don't necessarily resent the safety officer. I don't have
It's the ignorance.
being there.
Yes.
I just physically want to know that what he is telling me is the truth. It's
Yeah.
like Michael Bublé coming into the room and telling me he can sing pop music. He can't. He's telling me that. So I pay him and I trust him. Where I want to have the knowledge in my mind and have something I can refer back to when I speak to my client and go, do you know what? There's nothing for you to worry about.
I hear the point. I don't want to get it overly dominated. Lauren, just respond for me, if you will.
I think it is very difficult for any of us to understand. SASRIA aside, you've also got to take into account the local bylaws of the local municipalities.
Of course.
And unfortunately, the authorities themselves don't understand it.
More regulation.
So
will
we
come.
certainly will never.
There's lack of authority integration. That's the problem. If you go to the city of Joburg, they were backlogged 6 weeks. We were trying to get some stuff in for events. I think they were backlogged 6 weeks. So it's from a government point of view also is a massive problem.
Yeah, I've said.
See, the
understand that.
regulation is the trick, because there are no regulations for this industry. Others that are similar are being applied. We in the TPSA are being subjected to building regulations, which means at this stage should actually have a handrail all the way around it.
You're right.
Well, that's not going to happen, Dol.
No.
Simple. You know what I mean? And if you have more than 3 steps, it's got to have a rail. If it's on your stage, your dancers have to come down it. Hey, man, this is not going to work.
Which may go back to the collaboration point and the fact that we're unregulated.
But, you know, this is the important thing. We need to get together and make our own regulations. Don't wait for government, because it's going to be impossible.
And not just regulations, I'm certain of that.